yourself all last summer. Why didn't you collect a store of food for the winter? The fact is, replied the grasshopper, I was so busy singing that I hadn't the time. If you spend the summer singing, replied the ants, you can't do better than spend the winter dancing. And they chuckled and went on with their work. Never lose a good opportunity. The Fox and the Stork. A fox invited a stork to dinner, at which the only food he provided was a large flat dish of soup. The fox lapped it up with great relish, but the stork with her long bill tried in vain to eat the tasty broth. Her distress caused the sly fox much amusement. But not long after, the stork invited him in return, and set before him a pitcher with a long narrow neck, into which she could get her bill in with ease. Thus, while she enjoyed her dinner, the fox sat by hungry and helpless, for it was impossible for him to reach the tempting contents of the vessel. Those who play jokes on others must expect them in return. The Wolf and the Lamb. A wolf fox said, "If you had